The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Hi Rogers, can I ask you something?
Shoot.
What does corruption mean?
Well, summarily, corruption is abuse of public power for personal gain or for the benefit of a group to which one owes allegiance. For example, when a public office is abused by an official accepting or soliciting a bribe. By the way, private people can be corrupt too, like bribing police officers to escape fines.
Okay. So exactly how does that concern me?
Well, do you pay taxes?
I guess, yeah. What does that have to do with this?
Everything. Because those taxes you pay are supposed to facilitate services you use, like water, electricity, roads construction, medicines in hospitals, name it.
Okay, that is much bigger than I thought. But it can be stopped, right?
Well, yes it can, although it may not be as easy as it sounds. And here is the reason why. Corruption roots are grounded in our country's social, political, economic, bureaucratic traditions and policies.
So, what has kept it going this long? I mean, why don't we stop it?
Well, the main reason why it has been here for so long is because institutions are weak, either as a result of poorly defined ethical standards of public service, weak administrative and financial systems, or ineffective watchdog agencies.
What can we do to stop it?
At a national level, we must focus on strengthening the independence and effectiveness of public institutions that fight corruption. At a personal level, we must commit to never giving a bribe.
I promise I'll never give a bribe.
Well, that's a great decision you have made. Me and you now have to spread this message to all our friends. If we all do our part, corruption will be no more.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digital. The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Uganda and also Digital TV, and on our YouTube channel, the Alternative Uganda. Firstly, I want to first of all welcome you from 2023 to 2024, and of course saying Happy New Year for those of you that hadn't seen me ever since last year to date. We are with Justice Kanyeihamba. We're going to have a variety of discussions regarding so many topical discussions, but most important today, we are beginning with the Thanksgiving that he had, where so many people convened both at church and here in his home. But I would ask him firstly to say hello to all our viewers, and of course welcome you from the 2023 to now 2024, a new year. Professor, say hello to our viewers. And
hello viewers. I am very delighted to be here with you again, but on a different subject. As Norman has rightly said, there was a wide religious service in honor of my long life and service to this country and to the other countries. I want to thank very much everyone who came, both to the cathedral, Namirembe, and to my residence at Kanyeihamba Road in Machindi Division to celebrate with us, my wife and the children and the grandchildren, this very important lifeline in my entire life. The numbers of the people who attended by far exceeded those who were expected. We expected some 300 supporters, but over 1,000 people attended both the cathedral and my residence luncheon. I want particularly to mention very important people who came both to the church, to the cathedral, and to my house. And these included our long-serving Chief Justice, Muhoozi Samuel, then the well-known General Kayihura, who served this country very ably as Inspector General of Police, Justice Chiriabide, the judge of the East African Court of Justice, many judges who would take me a long time to mention, ministers, and in particular, I wanted to thank, and my family, we want to thank the very wonderful leadership that Ruhakana Rugunda gave as chief host of the function. My wife, Susan, and my daughter, Sarah, who spoke on the occasion. I want particularly to mention General Kayihura, who drove himself all the way from Kisoro to attend the occasion and spoke so eloquently about my relationship with him and his late uncle, Justice Mulenga. It really was making speech. I thank you. I thank Ruhakana Rugunda for his eloquence and the leadership. One relative who was due to speak but was hospitalized is Professor Besigye. Besigye donated to us a big case of his wonderful wine, and that show you that it was delicious. And I only have empty bottles in my residence after the guests left. On this occasion, or at this juncture, I wanted to thank very much the people of Kigezi, who we expected about 100, but there were over 200 who came and graced the occasion. I want to thank all of you, my relatives from Muzerante and from Bunyoro and Toro, who managed to come to the occasion. Over 300 people came here. I hope you had good refreshments and some food to take in your memory with you. This was not only a recognition of what we have contributed as Banyakigezi, but the kind of leadership we have given since the NRM came to power. We have provided not only the Inspector General of Police, we have provided about 5 generals in the army, including people like Tumukunde and General, there are so many I can't mention them all. We have provided 3 leadership of the political parties around us, and only small Kigezi has done all this. So I say we have done our bit of national service to Uganda. I thank all of you. I in particular remember the judges and the ministers, former and the present. In particular, our our
Speaker.
Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Tayebwa, who happens to come from my own district of Rubanda. He spoke very well and he represented the government of Uganda. So did many others, not forgetting what I have already said, Wakana Rugunda, Right Honorable former Prime Minister, and our former beloved and long-serving Chief Justice, Samuel Wako Wambuzi, and so many other dignitaries I don't have time to mention. Thank you very much. Indeed, this is an occasion will always be remembered in the history of Uganda. My family and I are very grateful for what happened and for what you gave us to remember by. Thank you.
Okay, our viewers, we are with Justice Kanyeihamba here. I had to definitely give him more time to make that, formal thanks to whoever attended the Thanksgiving that took place on 31st December 2023. And he's still alive and strong. We're now in 2024. But I don't want to right away run from what happened then. But definitely, because you are a living politician and a genius in as far as legal related things and politics are concerned, the last time we talked, you are one of those strongest men and women that the government literally has not rewarded by offering you people awards. Some people suggest it's because that you are bitter, your truth is bitter towards those who ought to give you awards and medals. How did it feel like to you when citizens rather convened at Namirembe and also your home? Which one is stronger? Citizens appreciating your works or the government giving you an award in form of a medal?
No, certainly citizens appreciating the work I did for their country and them. That is much more appreciable than the government giving medals or money. So I am sure that the president, represented by none other than Mrs. Joanna Kategaya, who is directly a senior presidential advisor, represented by Ruhakana Rugunda, and represented by the Right Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker of Parliament, is a good measure that the government recognizes what work I have done. Secondly, by coincidence, when I was saying goodbye to my wife, we met Aldrich Dwabogo, who said very, very kind words to me. I was touched by his recognition of what I have done for Uganda. And in a way, I thought he was speaking for the president. Secondly, the Kabaka of Buganda was represented by many relatives. And I believe his younger sister attended one of those occasions in memory of the work I have done. That to me is evidence that Uganda occasionally recognizes its sons and daughters who deserve to be mentioned for what they have performed for the country. And I am more than satisfied that on this occasion, the attendance of so many of you beyond expected numbers speaks volumes about how you appreciate the work my family and I have been able to perform in the name and on behalf of the Republic of Uganda.
Okay. Now, I want to take you also, you see, we're trying to manage that, talk about that entire Thanksgiving, pre, during, and post. You hosted here Dr. Besigye, and because I understand he did not attend the bigger event because he was indisposed, but had to pay a courtesy visit to you. And what you people discussed, if I am not mistaken, you were clear, encouraging him to consider contesting 2026. Was that a justifiable advice from you to him?
Yeah, I must say that Dr. Chiza Besigye and I have been friends for a long time, and I still regard him as a potential leader of this country. Whatever the other friends of mine, like Chagulanye or Bobi Wine, and others may do, those two remain vividly in my mind as future leaders of Uganda, not of just a region or of a faction, but of Uganda. Their appeal goes beyond their immediate constituencies. And therefore, it was with great pleasure that just before the function recognizing my contribution to the nation and the world, both Chagulanye and secondly, Chiza Besigye paid me personal visits and courtesy. I appreciate this very much. That the Kabaka was represented by many of Bechitibwa, many and relatives, and Nalinya is something that remains in my mind and the minds of my family, particularly my wife, son, Joel, and the daughter, Sarah. Thank you very much, Uganda, for honoring me at this age. I am what they call in Uganda an old man, but what dignity, alternative dignity, and its management said at the age of 83, I behaved and my brain still acts as if I am 38. Thank you very much, my supporters, and in particular, the alternative dignitary, who has on 2 occasions not let me down in upgrading my credentials.
Okay, sir. Thank you once again. Now, we want you to make a summary of 2023 because we hadn't literally met to get your word or any comments about what worked out for you 2023 and what didn't. Maybe such can also guide on what you would expect of this country and its leaders to behave now that we are in 2024. Any things that made the news or that were not newsworthy to you or that shocked you the previous year.
One of my admirers who attended both occasions when the outgoing and incoming archbishops of Namirembe spoke was the politicians, including academics like those who spoke,
You mean here, like Dr. Frank Nawiso and
like
others,
Dr.
and also
Nagiso,
Matembe?
Dr. Former president of UPC,
Yeah,
Olaro Tunu, and the DP speakers who appreciated my work in equal measure. The fact that my appeal goes beyond my village, that I am Sajawa Kabaka, even today, and the Kabaka government has allowed my name to appear on one of the roads as Kanyeihamba Road is really more than satisfying for one lifetime and for one individual servant of the country by the name of Kanyeihamba. I am more than satisfied that there has been a lot of recognition. I had invited the Princess Royal of Britain, Princess Anne, because I knew her acquaintance, and I hope she got the invitation because it was delivered by my daughter, and I still hope she will respond. She hasn't up to now responded, but you know, government messages take a long time. We are still hoping to hear from her busy schedule and the journeys for this in service of her brother, King Charles of Britain. But I was satisfied that she was amply represented by the royal house of Uganda. The king of Uganda, King Mutebi II, before this occasion, wrote to me personal letters on 2 occasions. I talked to her, his sister once, and to his household on numerous occasions. One person closest to the House of Uganda was a member of the committee which organized the functions of thanksgiving and recognition of me as a servant of Uganda. I am particularly very glad of the recognition and support the Kingdom of Uganda extended to me personally and to my family. So, looking at the whole picture as a whole, there has been some disappointments. As you expect, humans, we make mistakes. But on the whole, the aura and the picture around Uganda during the ceremonies in recognition of my service to the people and to God has been marvelous and very, very magnificent to remember.
Thank you. I think we will literally now leave it at that, and then dive into those most interesting topic or discussions, as you have always commented, in particular about human rights, governance, and politics. But I want to also hear from you regarding, I'm sure that in the 90s, you were, of course, already active in the politics, and when we had the Cold War, and most of African countries and so many others led by India considered forming non-aligned movement. Why I'm mentioning this, it has caused lots of controversies within, and in particular, marking a division. People, some of them are not happy that they had been told to leave the streets and repaint their homes and ensure that Makinde as in itself as a division looks more attractive. But your fellow Munyachigezi was encouraging people to keep on a smile, that they shouldn't show that they are they have some bit of sadness. So I do not know whether you are one of the people that are going to smile either in pretense or in actual smile, that Uganda is okay. You shouldn't show the visitors that people are sad. So what did you have? Because the Munyachigezi is, Bariomus is from your place, he's your friend, he has been here, and you talk always. What do you think convinced him to convince Ugandans to keep on a smile? Of course, beginning with the senior citizens like you shouldn't spit fire. Are you happy? Are you pretending to be happy for purposes of the visitors? Any comment in regards to your friends'
Now,
advice?
with regard to the Thanksgiving honored to me and my family by Namirembe Cathedral, I have no regrets whatsoever. None. But when you talk about the politics of Uganda,
Bariomus in particular, to begin with, him who told us to smile and be happy.
I don't know what he said recently.
No, he said, when you see, Uganda is just a few kilometers from your home to Munyonyo. There is a big event. There has been non-aligned movement members, and there are so many heads of state and representatives. So in his wisdom, he convinced Ugandans on a media conference that Ugandans ought to show a very big smile and not to show to the visitors and the delegates that they have some bit of sadness. And he was calling upon Ugandans, even reporters, to do positive reporting. And people were wondering, so if there are potholes somewhere, so media shouldn't report about such potholes. And he's a fellow Nyachigezi, so telling people to be happy, so that delegates can...
My view is that there is nothing to smile about what this government of the NRM is doing, either to Ugandans or foreigners. I'll tell you what I mean. Recently, with the strong support of the president, the parliament passed the anti-corruption, or rather anti-gay act.
Yeah.
But Ugandans are not fools. You pass an act where gay people were freely exposing themselves, recruiting younger people. And you say, if you do it again, we shall sentence you to death. That is the punishment. What does it mean? Government is warning those who are gay, keep quiet. Do your gay action without anybody knowing. Do it secretly. Because if you should come out and we find you are gay, we shall put you to death. Therefore, they are warning you, don't disclose your status as a gay person. So I was very glad when the Minister of Justice, rather the Attorney General, who is in a business with the President's son-in-law, Karujiri, differed from this law. They were with me that to make homosexuality a criminal offense, it's a warning to gay person, keep quiet, be silent, so that nobody knows you are gay. Because if we know you, we shall sentence you to death. So in my wisdom as a thinker, you are giving sanctuary to the homosexual. Because you are saying, if it is known you are gay, we shall put you to death. Who wants to go to death? So you keep quiet about your status as a gay person and do it privately. So the gay persons and the gay activity now is protected in the bedrooms, in the bathrooms, where they cannot be seen. And I think that is why the Attorney General, and in my opinion, his colleague in the business, Karujire, don't share the same enthusiasm for the passing of the anti-gay capital law. Having said so, there were other things which went wrong this year, for which Uganda should regret. One is that Museveni himself disclosed there were many ministers who had stolen iron sheets intended for Karamoja. And the president said they must be prosecuted and punished for it. One or two of those ministers confessed that they had committed criminal offenses and that they would accept to repent. One of them said he was tempted by Satan. Then we waited the legal acts to be waived. None was waived. Those ministers who confessed are still in the office doing their business. It reminds me that some months ago, the director of public prosecutions and the DPC of Kajansi police promised to arrest a Mr. The former mayor of Entebbe municipality for grabbing my land and building a structure there. They made this public. It is on video. But he continued. He's called Basil. Occupying my land. His two employees are still occupying the house they illegally built in my land, and everything is quiet. So today, I stormed the police station at Kajansi. Is it Kajansi?
This is Kajansi Entebbe Road.
Kajansi. And they said, why are these illegal grabbers still in my land? And the LOC chairman and the secretary have told you the land that they are occupying belongs to Kanyeihamba. Why are they still grabbing it? Rather apologetically, the police officer who was on duty today said, we are working on it. What does he mean?
Working on something.
Yes. So those are some of the pointing pieces of evidence that don't please any Ugandan today.
Okay. Our viewers, we are with Justice Kanyeihamba, and I want, in that very line about, in your view, there is nothing that may cause for anyone to be, to be pleased and smile. I am sure, as day follows night, that you have had, first of all, as one who was Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, but most importantly, as one of the Supreme Court justices during Besigye versus Electoral Commission and candidate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Last week, despite so many outcries there and advice and mention it, the president reappointed Justice Byabakama to lead Electoral Commission for the next 7 years. I do not know how I could even ask a question on either about the persona in Justice Byabakama or the persona in the appointing authority. Do you think the Electoral Commission, as is under the stewardship of Justice Byabakama, can this time around deliver free and fair elections come 2026?
I didn't know that the president had reappointed Byabakama, but now you have confirmed to me that yes, that when you do wrong in Uganda, you qualify for appointment to high office. Byabakama has really messed up the electoral system in Uganda to the extent that most people thought he would not be reappointed chairman. Therefore, he is being rewarded for the corruption and the mismanagement he achieved in his last term. And knowledgeable people like Besigye and politicians, Bobi Wine, will not be amused by this kind of knowledge that Byabakama is appointed, because he's doing a great job of corrupting the system for the movement. So many people like Besigye and Chagulanyi are not amused because they know what the reappointment means. It is perpetuation of corruption as normal. I have spoken elsewhere that in the Uganda of today, apart from the unexpected happens, then the guilty are rewarded for their work. The reappointment of people like the chairman of the Electoral Commission is a clear evidence of that phenomenon in Uganda. Thank you.
Okay, now, you see, Prof, you have literally I mean, tried to, of course, you are not tried, you have discredited him. And also, in your words, it's like the president rewards those who do wrong. What advice would you rather give to the opposition, which opposition is literally warming up for the elections, of course, 2026? You now know you have someone that you think may, of course, not produce results that are as expected, and you also want to participate in the same process. Now, what advice would you
No,
give?
I am participating in the process at this age because my opinion is very clear and straightforward and direct. We must not reappoint, we must not vote again in power President Museveni or his supporters. Here, unless I'm mistaken, we have at least one candidate who will join us, and that is General Muhoozi. General Muhoozi wants to stand. And I am saying to people like Chagulanyi and the Besigye, they are hesitating. Why don't you join the race for the presidency? You definitely qualify, like Muhoozi. And but Museveni does not qualify anymore. First, he's too old to remain president. Although age may be a number, it is a number that accumulates weakness. And we don't want a weak president to govern Uganda again. So for me and some few people, we are very clear, including Besigye, Chagulanyi, and who is this man who removed his feet from, his shoes from, what is his name?
Prof, he didn't remove his feet. It's the police that removed his feet from the shoes.
Yes.
The shoes from the feet.
And the president,
FDC.
presidential action, presidential action,
Amuriat of FDC.
who removed his shoes to campaign. Should be aware that when there is a vacuum, you must fill that vacuum, or somebody else will fill it for you. You must remember that. So I don't agree with them that they should be hesitating to say we want to succeed Museveni when he goes. They should announce it very loudly and quickly so that the world knows we have a successor to Museveni.
Okay.
He must be replaced in 2026.
Okay. Now, when you were in the Supreme Court as one of the justices in the Supreme Court, Dr. Chigundu was leading the Electoral Commission at a time, Badri Chigundu. Would you mind sharing your comparison between his performance and Justice Byabakama's performance? Whom do you think is more, staying than the other?
Neither.
To you, they have the same qualifications in your view?
Mm-hmm. In my view, they both are unqualified to be impartial chairman of the Electoral Commission. They work for the presidency, not for the Electoral Commission, and not for democracy.
How best do you think Mr. Museveni and his government would appoint the chairperson of the Electoral Commission? Would it be him in your view, or Parliament, or any other commission?
Parliament or any other commission. I agree with your proposal.
Okay. Our viewers were with Justice Kanyeihamba, and his, I mean, in these previous seconds, it's like a question and answer, the way he's just throwing, you know, straightforward answers without explanations. I don't know where it leaves an ordinary person who may not understand such answers that are as straight as you, as you put them. Another question now. I hope you don't give us a straight answer. Do you think...
No, I gave you
what you're saying, this so precise answer that does not have an explanation, it leaves people of, you know, who are less reasonable to get exactly what you mean.
No, that is not fair. Because I have told you, the incumbent whom they have appointed is unsuitable.
Period.
That is a clear answer.
Now another question.
And therefore, he should be replaced.
By a
And
suitable
then the
appointed
other candidates who are holding back, they should tell us that we are going to stand in 2006 because Kanyeihamba is opposed to Museveni standing again.
So they should be clear as early as possible.
How could I be clearer than that?
Another question that needs your clarity. In the event that Muhoozi contests, do you think he can do any better and different from his father? Just an overview, if you think you are okay with it.
I have already directly answered that question. That I would support Besigye or Bobi Wine to be president. One, I think he would make a direct good president. The other one, I hope he will depend on advice of people like the Katikiro and the Kabaka of Uganda to govern.
Who would make a better president, and who would make a better president but with advice?
Besigye would make a direct good president. In my opinion, Bobi Wine would make a good president if he listened to the advice of the Katikiro and of the King of Uganda. That's what I mean.
Don't you think, in where you say Bobi Wine can be a good president, dependent on some advice from the Katikiro, would also apply to Muhoozi getting some advice from some other people, because he can also get that advice.
You see, according to his statement, he said, I am ready to rule Uganda. But he hasn't said with people like Kanyeihamba or with advisors like Chwanuka. He said he will.
Solely.
And his team. And we don't know what his team is. He hasn't showed the color and the content of his team. We don't know. But what he has said is very alarming. He was warned by his father not to attack allies like Kenya. So he has started very badly on his road to the presidency. And the most likely, since his father is likely to be one of his opponents, he will never be president during my lifetime. And therefore, I have a lot of room to doubt
whether he can be
president.
Now, I don't want to take you away from the very topic. Time ago, the president described those who support and follow Muhoozi project, the MOK movement rather, as opportunists. Do you think, in your view, it was in good faith? Does it mean, as you people have always predicted, that Mr. Museveni is so selfish that he may not even wish his son to succeed him now? What do you make of such a statement? By the father to the son. Son is supporters for...
You see, Museveni, not only did he does he criticize those who support the MK
Project movement.
movement, or is it project? But he also has criticized his son for opportunistically boasting about his power to inherit, rather to destroy the Kenya
Definitely.
system, Kenya government. So he's like a disaster bomb placed in a mansion. He will destroy both the Kenya friendship. But what are you people you don't know? Kenya is a great friend of Britain, America, and France, not to mention Italy. So should anyone in East Africa, whether it is Kenya, or rather whether it is Uganda, or any other country, attack Kenya, you are going to open the guns on you by Britain, Kenya,
France.
Italy, France, Italy, the European Union, and you will be obliterated in minutes. So Museveni, President Museveni is right to warn his son, MK, to stop playing with the fire.
Okay. I am sure that you might have followed the reshuffle in Parliament, in particular about the lead of opposition. Time ago, while here, you weren't happy with the performance of Right Honorable Matthias Mpuga at a time, and you wanted him to resign. By God's grace, your prayers were answered, not through a resignation, but through a reshuffle. And a one now, Right Honorable Joel Senyonyi, happens to be the leader of opposition in Parliament. Previously, he was the spokesperson of National Unity Platform. I am not sure whether you know too much about him and his performance, but I do not know whether you can also share with us whether you think that the new leadership can do, literally the opposition leadership, whether it can do any wonders in Parliament, especially where their numbers are just a few of them, vis-a-vis the majority NRM and independent and NRM leaning.
Yes, I learned about the change, as you have said, in the leadership of the opposition. And in my opinion, the new leader has not spoken enough for us to be able to judge whether he will succeed or not. That's as much generosity as I can give him.
So we still give him a benefit of doubt until he speaks and then act accordingly.
That's right.
Okay. Comrades, ladies and gentlemen, we are with Justice Kanyeihamba. We are going to have a few minutes and also ask him what he anticipates in this year, what he would expect of both Parliament, government, and the judiciary. I know you have lots of so many issues about the judicial system here. Previously, you and Dr. Besigye said there is no judiciary in Uganda, and then people would wonder, we see the Chief Justice, we see the Principal Judge, we see the Deputy Chief Justice. Literally, the courts open every morning up to Friday. Why did you even say there is no judiciary as an organ
Yes,
of
I think
government?
there is much sense in those statements. I have just had a word with my friend, the principal judge, and today a lawyer came here. I will not mention her name. Today, and I was already on interview with you, and she said, we are appearing before the principal judge this afternoon. Then she showed me a letter. The letter was written on the 2nd of December.
Last year.
She has never said anything about us appearing in the court today. But I think she thought, having appeared talking about my life and appearing before the, rather being discussed by Namirembe Cathedral. By the way, the one I think I didn't approve, rather appreciate, is the Archbishop of Kampala, the premier of the Catholics, being represented personally, I think by a bishop, at the occasion of my civil rather service in the honor of me. It was wonderful that this Catholic Archbishop did recognize the contribution I have made to Uganda. Thank you very much, Your Grace. I am really feel humbled. Having said that, going back to your question
About the judicial system.
about the
Judicial system. Because you and Dr. Besigye said we don't have the judiciary, we don't have parliament,
yes, and we don't have
cabinet.
no, we don't have cabinet. We have, but it is useless. We don't have
Judiciary.
no, we don't have religious leaders to speak of. But I am now very pleased that His Grace, the Archbishop of Kampala, has come out by showing his colors in supporting me and sending an envoy to represent him at my service, holy service. The Bishop of Uganda, what is his name?
Kazimba Mugalu.
Kasinga Mugala, was not represented, nor did he speak. His controversy was silent about Museveni being above the law and above God. When you go to the Church of Uganda headquarters, I didn't care.
Namirembe.
No, it's the bishop,
You mean
Archbishop.
The Archbishop. The
Archbishop
Archbishop sits at Namirembe. The other one also sits at All Saints Cathedral.
At All
Nakasero.
Saints, yes.
Yeah.
When you go to the Uganda's archbishops seat at what is it?
All Saints Cathedral.
All Saints
Nakasero.
Cathedral, Nakasero. You have to go through presidential barriers,
By the way, yeah.
the same
The church.
which also guards the archbishop. So you ask yourself, is the Church of Uganda now part of the presidency?
Yeah, by the way, yeah, the bulkheads are below on that road. I think that's Lumumba Avenue. You go through them and you do the
And
zigzag.
I had gone to him 3 times.
Then you
Every
have to-
time they say he's not there. Every time I had to pass through presidential barriers.
to reach the
That's
church.
why I went to the Bishop of Namirembe, and he immediately granted me my request.
So does that mean initially your plans were to hold your
Oh,
prayers,
yes.
at All
I
Saints Church?
initially planned to hold my Thanksgiving
At All Saints.
at All Saints, but it was made impossible for me to access to the bishop, archbishop, because you have to go through presidential
blockades to-
security guard and the barriers.
Okay, our viewers, I will ask you, Prof, to say a word or so in your closing remarks. But in particular, you did not answer why you said we have no parliament. You did not answer, in particular, why you think there is no judiciary. Precisely, if you don't mind, you could conclude with those. We have parliament, parliament sits, they pass laws, assented to by the president. Like you had, there were appointments of the leader of opposition and his cabinet. Why did you and Dr. Besigye say those institutions aren't there, and then we shall call it a day?
Functionally, we don't have a parliament. Functionally, we don't have a parliament. We don't have a cabinet. We don't have a judiciary, and we don't have a legal system. They have all been captured in the presidency. If we look at the decisions which affect our lives, the president has directed, the president has decided. Whether it is legal, economic, the president has done. So we have one man. But unfortunately, it is a lie. The president has worked so hard that he's exhausted. So those decisions are made or proposed by faceless people. So we have no cabinet, but we have faceless people
Running the cabinet.
making decisions for cabinet. We don't have a presidency, but we have faceless people making the decision of the president. We don't have a judiciary, but we have corrupt people making decisions for us. We don't have a religious leadership, but we have cowards who don't speak when the Constitutional Court says the president is above the law and above God.
Okay, I would be wrong to add a word, but rather to say, for God and my country, no man.
It remains. Even if they ignore it, we remain Uganda for God and my country. That stays.
Kumbe Obote borrowed your school motto from Omwiri and added, it is for God and our country, but Obote made now Uganda's for God and
for my God, for my country, and
yours is for God and our country.
my country. That's right.
Okay, no man.
So it originated famously
From Mwiri.
from Mwiri.
And we are with one of the OBs. Catch you next time.
Yes, you are one with the OBs. One OB, Navigiso spoke at my recognition as a performer for Uganda and the country.
Be blessed.
Definitely.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.